Okay, let's try this again. You gotta hang tight with technology, right? We all know about this drama when it happens. It's never fun. So, there we go. Whoops. Where'd you go, Stacy? Add as a guest. Hang tight with us. I'm going to get started here in just a minute. It says it's inviting her.
Aha!
Aha! There we go. Great.
Yay! We're on.
Yay. Okay. Well, that was interesting.
Hi, Janet.
That was
Hi, Demetria.
exciting. So I can't see who anybody's on. You know, I have to stay focused or else I'll get completely distracted. So welcome everyone to our live chit chat. We like to do this coffee talk style, and we are just going to share with you our life as a coach, but how we got to this point, what coaching is about, and just share a little bit from our background, our story, and our heart about why we do what we do, why we love it so much, and maybe it can be something that you want to fit into your life too, and that you see fit into your life too. So we are going to do these calls once a month. This is our second live call, and we're just going to share. We're going to share our story and just, like I said, just share a little bit about ourselves, and then keep on for a few minutes for maybe questions that you want to put in the comments. If you all can hear us, if you could give us some hearts or some likes or thumbs up. Technology is interesting, as you just saw. So we want to make sure everybody can hear us and that everybody can see us. So if you could do that, that would really, really help. I see some hearts, I see some thumbs up, and that is awesome. More is better. So, okay. My name's Demetria Brown, and my friend Stacy and I are both coaches with Team Beachbody. I hope I'm looking at the right spot. And I just want to share a little bit about how I got to this point, and like I said, what it's about. I always take notes because I get a little sidetracked. So I'm a wife and a mom of 3, but I raised 2. I am a full-time health promoter and fitness coach entrepreneur with Team Beachbody. And I became a full-time coach about almost 2 years ago. And before that was a full-time project manager. I've always been into health and fitness. I've always loved health. I've always loved the idea of transformation. And so it was always something that I fit into my life since probably age 19. But the way I kind of got into and got introduced to Beachbody was at a time in my life where I was really stuck and didn't know that I was stuck. And so I was working full-time as a project manager, as I said, and I was actually working from home at the time. And I had a great job. I liked my job. I loved my boss. I worked for a good company, but I was really unfulfilled. And so I would send my kid off to school, and a preschool at the time. And I felt really guilty about feeling unfulfilled because I had already gotten to have part of what I always wanted, which was being present with my son. I wanted to be home for when he got home. I wanted to be the one that, made him lunches and, did all the things that I wasn't able to do when I worked outside of the home before that. And I was able to do part of that, but I wasn't fulfilled in my job. It was just a job. I was very good at it. I was always self-motivated. I was always, that person who, tell me what to do and I'll do it. I was always good at what I did. I was a rule follower. I still am that way, but I was really unfulfilled. And so one of the things about me growing up was I hated to be vulnerable, and I hated to appear to need help. So what I would do is I would have a job, or during school, or during college, I would just ask in the beginning how to do something, and then I would try my best to not need to ask any more questions. And so I didn't realize what kind of void this was building in me. And so by the time I was introduced to Team Beachbody, I was really desperate for it. And I didn't even know that I was. I was invited to a free fitness group on Facebook with my now coach, Lisa. And it was just this really fun, encouraging, supportive community of people who are just working out together. They were checking in with each other every day. They were holding each other accountable, and they were doing squats and planks every day. And it was like this 30-day challenge. And I had never felt so loved. I had never felt so accepted. And I didn't realize that that was something that I was missing, because I was, like I said, I was always self-motivated. I was always a self-starter. I was always really, what I didn't know was I was always a loner, because I always had a lot of friends, because I wasn't antisocial. I didn't realize how much of a loner I was. And being in that group, really, I thrived in that group. And I didn't pick up on right away why that was, but I realized later it was the support and the community that I didn't really have, because I never allowed myself to have that type of support. I always viewed getting support and asking for help and leaning on people as a weakness. And so I never allowed myself to do that. So when I would have fitness goals, for example, I would go to the gym. I'm a certified personal trainer. That was something that I thought I wanted to do, but realized I don't want to spend hours and hours in the gym. But I would just go in the gym by myself, and I would work out for 1-2 hours a day and have no problem doing that, and then leave. But what would happen is, after about 5-6 weeks, I would burn out and I would quit. And then I would just feel stuck. I would feel like I failed at something that I set my mind to. And what I didn't realize was that I was missing the leaning on. I was always somebody who allowed others to lean on me. And I still am that way, but I was kind of like agnostic about my own life, like, that's okay for you to need help, but it's not for me to need help. That's okay for you to lean on people, but it's not okay for me to lean on people. And so leading all the way up to being part of that free group, I just fell in love with it. I felt so accepted. I felt so cared for. Lisa checked in with me every day. It was just a free group. I didn't buy anything from her. I didn't pay her for anything. It was just her pouring her heart out in this group to different people that were in there, and everybody feeding off of each other's energy. So in that group, like I said, I checked in. I just fell in love with it. And Lisa reached out to me and said, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And I said, no, and she said, well, you'd make a great coach. You're really involved, and you encourage people, and you're caring, and, you're really into fitness, which, was true, but it was the first time I was ever like that. It was the first time I ever kind of let my wall down. And after that, it was in my mind, it felt good for somebody to tell me that I would be good at something like that. And she basically told me, you kind of are already doing everything that I do. You just don't get paid for it. And so I had that seed planted in my mind, but I wasn't really open to it, because I wasn't open to the idea of an online business and network marketing. That was just something that I had a very negative idea about. So fast forward to my husband lost his job. He was in between contracts, and we needed more income, but I didn't want to give up the presence that I had by being able to be at home and working at home. I was already working at home, and I was already had that closeness and that availability for my son. I didn't have complete flexibility, but I had more than I would if I was commuting to the office and commuting like I used to. So I reached out to her, because the things that I was worried about happening, what I thought about network marketing, she never actually did any of those things. I'm sure, as we all have, I had been approached by different network marketers, and pushy people and people who didn't really care about me and just kind of want to sell me a product. And so that was all I had in my head. And Lisa never did any of those things. The only thing she ever did was see how I was doing, encourage me, care for me, love me, you know, and that was really it. And so I thought, how is she making money doing this? You know, I don't understand what's going on. So I reached out to her. I got more information and I realized it was the perfect fit for me. You know, I tried to find the right thing for myself by doing personal training, because personal trainers, number one, they're awesome and they do care about people too. But it wasn't the right thing for me because I wanted to be home. I didn't want to be outside of the home so many hours. And if you know anything about building any type of business, especially something like that, you have to market yourself and you have to be gone a lot. You have to spend a lot of time in the gym. You have to spend a lot of time away from your family, like most jobs and most businesses. So when I realized that, after asking Lisa, you know, for more details, that you don't do any of that with this, that you actually can take your business wherever you go. And if I'm on vacation, I can take my business with me. I can set my own hours. I can work in the pockets of my day, and I can do this around my life at the time. It was just such a great fit for me. It was just exactly what I needed. And it was also going to be an extra income if I worked really hard at it. So I decided to give it a chance. And, you know, it's funny because I always tell people, you know, right now I'm expanding my team and I say, you know, don't be a toe dipper. Don't be somebody who's like, oh, we'll see. But I kind of was a toe dipper. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of like, okay, I'll go all in for a year. And if it doesn't work, I still gave myself a back door. I gave myself 1 year and I said, if it doesn't work, I'm out. Well, not even 6 weeks in, I was like, this is what I needed. I needed people who cared about me. I needed people who were going to let me be myself. I needed to not have to leave my house to make more income. I needed a community of support. I needed a way to stay fit from home when I couldn't make it to the gym. And that was happening more and more because my life was getting busier and busier. And then I needed everything that this business provided, and I just didn't know it. But for me in particular, never wanting to be vulnerable, never wanting to lean on people for support, never wanting to feel that I needed people or let that wall down and let people in and say, yes, support me, help me, you know, let me lean on you. This took all those walls down and it allowed me to get what I needed that I didn't even know I needed. The reason why I was starting and quitting so many things in my life, especially my fitness and my fitness goals, is because I was lacking the support. I only had myself to rely on. I would go in to the gym and I only had me. I wouldn't even, you know, they say like people who are professional golfers or whatever, if every coach needs a coach, everybody needs somebody. And so for me, it was just not an option until I came to Team Beachbody and realized that these people actually care about you. Lisa never tried to sell me anything. She never pushed anything on me. She never told me, you know, yes, you can be in my group, but you have to buy this. She never pushed me to be a coach. She just said, hey, I think you'd be really great at it. And she just continued to encourage me and stayed friendly with me. And that was it. She never pushed any of her own agenda on me. And so for somebody like me, the fastest way to get me to run is to push me. If I don't know you and I don't have your trust and you don't have my trust, if you push me to do something, I'm out. And she never did that. So when the time was right and when my life needed this opportunity, fitness wise, financial wise, friendship wise, community wise, this business fulfilled all those things for me. And so fast forward now, I was able to quit my full-time job because of it. I have to say that Beachbody doesn't guarantee any level of success. That's a disclaimer we have to say. But the reality is you can make a lot of money doing this if you work hard. It's all based on your hard work, your diligence, your effort, your skill. And we help you with all that. But I was able to do so many things that I wanted to do and so many things I didn't know I needed to do. I had my third baby. Our second baby's in heaven. Our third baby is Gabriel. He's running around downstairs loud. I don't know if you can hear him, but I was put on bed rest at 15 weeks and I had to spend over half of my pregnancy in bed. And if I didn't have this income and I didn't have this community of support, forget the income, the community that I leaned on, and I was able to express my fears, express my worries, all the things I was never able to do in the past because I wouldn't allow myself to be that person, to open up and be vulnerable. I was able to do that because of this opportunity. I was able to heal from the loss of my child because of this opportunity. And it sounds crazy because when you hear Beachbody, if you know anything about Beachbody, you think P90X, you think 21-day fix, containers, Shakeology, infomercials. And it is those things. There is the business side to this. But the reason why coaches are coaches is not because of Shakeology. It's not, although we love it and it has changed our lives tremendously. But that's not why people dig in and stay with this business. That's not why I do. I'm here because I have found my tribe. I have found my people. I found more of myself. And I found the avenue to help people become better versions of themselves from the inside out. My belief is that you can't transform unless it starts on the inside. Yes, you see outside transformations and it's really cool. We always lead with fitness and we always talk about, I've shared a million times my 40-pound weight loss. Beachbody has helped me lose 40 pounds. I drink Shakeology every day. I've drank it for 3.5 years, but it's because of the people and because they actually care. And because I know that 4 o'clock in the morning, I can message somebody from my team on Facebook and they're going to respond to me. They're going to care about what's going on in my life. And it has nothing to do with because I bought Shakeology from them. It has nothing to do with because I'm on their team. It has everything to do with who we are, what we stand for, and what we do. And most people don't know that about this company. Most people hear network marketing and they think products. We have products, but this isn't about products. This is really, truly, truly about changing your life from the inside out. So that's what Beachbody has done for me. And that's why I will, as far as I can say, will never, ever not be a Beachbody coach. Unless the company, somehow crazy, something happened, I will always do this because of who they are and what they stand for. And the mission of this company, I stand behind. They want to change obesity. They want to change this country and this entire world with what's going on with the obesity rate. And that's something that I stand behind, but it's so much more than that. They truly, truly care about us. And we get to take that, change our lives, and then branch it out and help other people do the same thing. So that's my story. That's why I'm a coach. That's why I love this so much. And I'm going to turn it over to Stacey so she has time to talk because I took up a lot of time. Sorry.
Guys, thank you so much for being on this call from all of us. It's really nice that you guys are, deciding to be curious, deciding to just kind of be that bug on the wall and, not letting a preconceived notion stop you from listening in on something that could be really, really, really vital for you. To tell you about my journey was I started looking into this actually while I was pregnant with our second child, Kinsey. And I had, I was fairly into my pregnancy and obviously wasn't looking into dieting, but I was looking for the future. When I was pregnant, I had pretty much got the warning shot of if you don't start doing X, Y, and Z, you're going to have gestational diabetes, and we don't want that. And that was a big wake-up call for me. Not only that medically, but one of the other wake-up calls was, and this wasn't so much from pregnancy, but this was just in life in general for me. And then kind of everything just was a chain of an event that kept making me walk towards Beachbody, which I didn't know these things were making me walk towards this thing, right? So a lot of times we'll backtrack before I was pregnant with Kinsey. I would always be that girl at the pool. And I'd be at the girl at the pool who did not pay attention to my present moment at the pool. And I think many people can relate to this because women are very insecure about their bodies. They're very self-conscious, and we do compare ourselves to other women. I think that's just kind of how we are, and we're human nature about that. And I did way too much of that all the time. I was the girl that was covering up my towel around the backside. So if I walked past you and I thought you looked prettier than me or cooler than me or whatever you want to say it was, I didn't want you looking at me. I didn't want you to see the, rimply dimplies on my back legs. I didn't want you to look at me. And I hid a lot. And I would also shy away from certain areas of the pool, where I would see everybody over there, but I would want to go over here and sit because I was shamed of my own self for how I was. And that always kind of resonated with me growing up and getting into my older years, and it never went away. And the reason why I'm trying to paint the picture of this pool scene is because there's a feeling that goes along with this pool scene, and it's insecurity, and it's low self-esteem, and it's feeling less than, and not thinking you have a place in this world. And those were my ingredients of how I grew up. And what's interesting, and I know I can say this, is that Demetria and I share the same type of ingredients in different little ways. But it's no wonder we became friends, and then later on we became coaches, because you do attract your tribe. I have never once felt by being a coach that I fit right in automatically. It wasn't like I had to try. It wasn't like I had to be anything else than who I was. And that was almost a very uncomfortable outfit to put on, so to speak. I didn't really know how to wear that. And because I was always used to not, wearing something else that was, less than me. So I'm pregnant, I'm having my daughter, and I'm late night watching these infomercials on the 21-day fix. And I'm like, you know what? I think I want to do this when I get done having my baby. And, this was me still continuing going to the pool. And I did rock a bikini while I was pregnant. And at some point I just didn't even care. But there was always that quiet little whisper saying, Stacey, you're not cool. You're not pretty. It was always that negative Nancy talking on me. And I was ready to quiet her down. And this infomercial started talking to me. And then all of a sudden I'm thinking of this thing, but then the universe listens to you. And I see Demetria doing these workouts. I see Lisa Marcinkowski doing these workouts. And I'm like, okay, they're doing what I'm watching while I'm eating ice cream at 2:00 in the morning, pregnant. What are they doing? Because I really want to do this, right? So I reached out to Lisa, and then I reached out to Demetria, and I think Demetria and I talked for a long time. We talked for a very long time. We're talking months. And I got the clear to work out after I had my C-section with my second baby. Kenzie was 3 months old, and I went to work. And I lost 45 pounds in 10 months. I was in every challenge group that Demetria had offered. And I don't think, actually I know now, I would not have been successful if I did not stay involved in a community of like-minded people. I, too, with Demetria, I can do this at home, but what's funny is we have the negative voice and we have the go-getter voice. But when you're alone, sometimes this one wins. And I didn't want her to win anymore. I learned for the first time what personal development was all about. I learned to counteract that negative Nancy voice with something positive. And I had never learned that before in any fad diet or crash diet or program that I literally just dusted off, which has been ancient, which I need to sell, is the Carmen Electra pole dancing workouts, which I don't even own a pole. I don't even know why I bought it, but
we need to change that.
Right. You get attracted to stuff like that. But it's just funny because this was the thing that worked. And the reason why it works is because you're part of a team that actually gets you. And if you dive in all of a sudden and you take a leap of faith and you just say to yourself, I'm not going to quit, and see it through first for yourself, just in your health and fitness alone, the byproducts are losing weight. Getting your joy back is one of the reasons why I became a coach, because yes, the weight loss came off, but I didn't even care about that. I loved what Beachbody offered me. And then the kicker for me was my husband went on strike with Verizon, and it was the whole entire summer that he was off, and he had no paycheck. He had a $200 a week paycheck from his union. Now, we live in a county that doesn't do anything. It just doesn't. And it was the first time I carried the financial weight on my shoulders. And I'm a part-time hairstylist, and I always have been one. And I did not want to get another job to take me away from my kids. So Demetria basically looked at me, and because she's been friends with me since high school, literally, you guys, she was like, hello, ding dong, you could be a coach. And I was like, oh, wait, what? She's like, you could be a coach. And I was like, So she spent 2.5 hours with me one night on the phone with my husband, and we talked, because I was nervous about coaching. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I knew it could be a game changer, not only for me, but for my family. And sure enough, with time, it was the leap that I needed. Number one, I'm going to be selfish about it. It keeps me healthy. It keeps me strong. It keeps me doing personal development. It keeps me wanting to not go to the doctors every year to get a bad report. That's number one. I'm a reason I'm a coach. And that's a selfish reason. But you know what? With Beachbody, they actually teach you in the company that you come first. And I love that, because if I am not good, how can I serve another person? How can I do that? How can I be a good mom? How can I be a good wife? How can I be a good friend, daughter, niece, whatever? Coaching gives me the ingredients to be all of those things. It gives me a reason to be as uncomfortable as I possibly can, because where we lie in being uncomfortable, as I've now learned, is where we have our highest growth. When my dad decided to take his life in 2002, my world was shattered. I write about this all the time on Facebook. People know my story. But what you don't know, and maybe I do tell this, but maybe I need to say it more live, is the fact that he's still helping me today to be a better person. And he's reminding me to live from a passion and not from a place of stress. And being a hairstylist currently and being a Beachbody coach currently are giving me those things to be my best self. And I want to grow and I want to expand myself. And this is probably the most free therapy I've ever had of being a coach. I can call Demetria in 5 seconds. I can call her after this call, and we can talk for 45 minutes. Coaching gives you like-minded friends. Coaching gives you the ability to take a leap of faith and lean into your fears with a safety net of loved ones. And you can be any age, you can be any handicap, you can be any insecurity or security you have on the inside. Because believe it or not, somebody literally is looking for your story to be told. And that might be a scary thing, but guess what? Your story and you working on your own transformation and sharing it, number one, you get to make yourself so much better and a healthier version of you. You're the artist of the canvas. You get to paint your life. And while you get to paint your life and have all these new beautiful colors, guess what you get to do? You get to invite and share somebody to that. That's a cool thing to me. It's a blessing. It's not sales. And I will tell you from the bottom of my heart, if it was sales, I know Demetria and I would be like, see ya. But in everything in life, there is a, there's a product, there's something, but really it's not about the product. The product gives you a baseline, a platform to stand upon. Coaching gives you the ability to grow within yourself and share it. It's really that simple. It's not complicated. It's given me, the bonus, yes, it's giving me some financial relief right now. And I love that. But that comes from just taking care of yourself. And really, I didn't buy into that until I started coaching. And it's true. You just work on you. And that really, in a nutshell, is, I mean, we have very similar stories, me and Demetria. We both have a traumatic experience. We both have a place to stay safe and grow. And her and I, we are not perfect. We fail every day, but we fail forward and we fail as a team. So there's no I in team, and we certainly aren't quitting, because coaching is just about being a better version of you. I mean, don't you agree with that?
Absolutely. And I want to just piggyback on one thing you said about not being perfect. The thing that always stifled me in the past, again, being the girl who was afraid to be vulnerable, I was more than happy for people to lean on me. I was more than happy to be the shoulder, but I didn't feel that I didn't feel I deserved or could lean on people back. And so when it came to making mistakes, or just failing myself, or setting a goal and falling short, or like I said, I would go to the gym for 5 weeks and have this hardcore goal and go at it, and then all of a sudden I'd burn myself out and quit. I had nobody to share that with, because I couldn't open up. I couldn't tell people I'm really struggling with whatever it was. And, you know, that's a surface thing. Physical transformation is a surface thing, but it was really about what it meant for me. You know, I grew up with a mom who was overweight her whole life, and she hid because of that weight problem. She just hid behind her weight, and she used food as her comfort, and she missed out on a lot of her life because of it. And so for me, it was that translated into, one, I always have to be fit. I have to basically be perfect, and I can never open up and lean on anybody, because that means I'm going to be weak and I'm going to end up just like my mom. And just a disclaimer, my mom's awesome. However, it was so scary for me to think about needing people, because when I was younger, I wasn't really able to lean on the people in my life the way that I should have been able to. And so growing up into an adult, that was just not an option for me. So I never had anybody to say, I'm struggling right now. You know, I really, you know, I am an emotional eater, and I would go with these ups and downs, and I still struggle with that. But the difference is, now I have somewhere to go. Now I have tools that I know work. Now I have people who actually care about that and aren't just going to say, suck it up and keep it moving. I have people that actually understand that. And unlike personal training, and I'm not saying that personal trainers have to be perfect, but you are looked at as the example. And so that was too much pressure for me. And there's no pressure. It's really just about me becoming a better version of myself and knowing where to go when I have a setback, when I have, you know, struggles, and I know where to go now. I have people to lean on, and they welcome me with open arms. It's not frowned upon to, you know, take a step back. One of the things that people say to me all the time when I say, you should really consider coaching, they say, well, I'm not fit, or I don't even really like working out. Here's the thing. This is keep it real. You don't have to like working out. You don't even have to like it, but you do have to like what it's going to do for you. I don't like working out every day, but I like what it does for me. I like how it clears my mind. I like what it does. I like the benefits of it. A lot of us don't like going to our job, but we go because it gives us a paycheck. So whatever you think a coach is, 90% of the time you're wrong. It's really just about you wanting to change you first. And out of that overflow of confidence that you get, out of the overflow of transformation that you get, and just love that you're pouring into yourself, maybe for the first time ever, you then have something to give to your husband or your wife or your significant other or your kids or your family members or your coworkers. You now have something to share, instead of going from where I was, which is the person who just said, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm okay, I'm okay. And then everything falling apart behind closed doors and putting a smile on my face and being strong when really I'm falling apart. I don't have to do that anymore. I can let it out. And actually, I've become stronger because of it.
And
I've actually become stronger.
you learn not to play the comparison game, which is in, I'm very confident saying, which is in probably 95% of any woman walking the face of this planet.
Or any person.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. And I still catch myself playing the comparison game, but
of course,
I think the best type of coaches start off as challengers. I really do.
Absolutely.
And I encourage you guys tonight to hear that, because we're not saying like, hey, get on here and sign up and be a coach, da-da-da. We're saying, here's what happened with our story. This is us. This is not a sales pitch. We have kids downstairs right now and our husbands downstairs right now, but it is so important for us to come in here and say, hey, look, like, I think it's well known that we say this all the time on Facebook. It is part of our lives. Beachbody is like in our blood. But I will say to you guys tonight that if you get an invite one day from one of us, or an opportunity that comes your way from one of us, try to lean into it, because it's not a sale. It's not one of those calls that you get that we want to just hang up the phone right away. It's nothing to do with it. It is actually a gift, but you have to be positioned and ready for it too. And you can always dig deep and ask us more questions. You can message us whenever you want. We'll post the replay. But I think tonight we didn't even really talk about the whole money thing, because really the weight loss, the income, all of that stuff, we can't sit here and even say, you're going to get this and you're going to get that, because really the weight loss and the income is based on you. It's based on you, and it's based on how hungry you are for it. And it can be a real game changer for literally every aspect of your life. But I can also say too, it's not an overnight process. Just like with weight loss, you cannot expect to drop 50 pounds and do your first day and get on the scale and go, did I lose weight? Did I lose a pound? Did I do it? And you can't do your first coaching business day and go, did I make those millions to retire? Did I do it?
Yeah.
No, of course you're not. But it's the compound effect. It's little things that will slowly get you there. But if you stay consistent and wanting, now here's the thing that we both are mentioning tonight. You may not feel like pressing play on a workout, and you may not feel like drinking Shakeology. You may not feel like using your containers, but what you want comes from that. So you have to, one of the things we first learned, and Demetria gave me, which is the reason why I've stayed consistent for 2 years, even if I failed, was to write down my why. You have to write down the reason why you're doing it. And it can't be, oh, sign me up, I'm so ready to do this. Like, just put me in. Because 9 times out of 10, that motivation will go away. It will die down. Just like that new t-shirt you get at Target and you're like, I am rocking my shirt. I love this shirt. And then all of a sudden, 5 months later, it's going in the bag to Salvation Army because you hate that shirt.
Yeah.
Where did the motivation go to that rock star t-shirt? It's all the same principles. When you write down why you're doing it and you can connect really emotionally to it, and I mean emotionally, and it might take time to connect to it, you'll never miss a day in your life. You'll never beat yourself up again. You'll look at everything like Demetria literally told me today in the car. Stacey, things are just information. It's not to cause you harm. It is just information. And that's kind of what tonight is. It's just, it's just information. It's just information. We're telling a real life story. I'm not trying to sell anything tonight. I'm trying to offer. We're trying to offer something that's done something so profound to our lives and every little aspect of our lives that it could do the same thing for you. And that's really it. That's why we're on tonight.
Absolutely. Yep. coaching has given me freedom and continues to give me more and more freedom. And that's really why I became a coach. I wanted freedom in every way. Freedom to be myself, financial freedom, freedom to just feel accepted, be accepted, freedom to go after what I'm passionate about, freedom. And that's what it provides. And if you need freedom in any way, coaching will provide that for you if you are ready and if you're open.
Yep.
So
in every avenue. I'm so glad we did this call.
There are way more details about the, if you have questions about what, coaches can actually earn and how the business model actually works, and all the important things, those are very important. Those are things we discuss, in more detail privately with you or in one of our sneak peek coaching opportunities that we don't go live about. And we're more than happy to talk to you about any of that stuff. But we do these monthly calls really so that you can understand our heart behind this, because anybody can have a product. There's lots of products. Beachbody is not the only company that has products. There's products everywhere, although ours are the best, FYI. But it's not about that. It's about why we do what we do, not what we do. We do this because it has changed our lives. And that might seem like a big statement, but it has changed our lives in very small and very big ways that are really important to us. I'm a better wife to my husband because of this business. I'm a better mom to my kids because of this business. And I'm a better friend to my friends because of this business. That's not something I can ever say about any job I've ever had. And I don't feel like this is a job. This is just something that's part of my life, and it fits right into my life. And it's a passion, and I get to carry out a mission because of this business. And it can really be what you want it to be for you if and when you're ready. So,
well said.
Anything you want to add?
I don't think so. I think we
Lisa,
really touched on everything. Lisa, say something.
Yeah. Oh, I was just reading what Lisa said. She said, my life has changed so much because of Beachbody. I'm forever grateful. Yes. And it has given me like serious rock star friends. Lisa and I live so far away. She's literally one of my best friends. And we went to high school together. We didn't hang out one time in high school, not once. I didn't know her for years and years. I'm 20 years out of high school. She's one of my very best friends. I texted her this morning. I was like, okay, I need your accountability. I ate way too much for Thanksgiving, and I drank way too much wine, and I need to start getting back up early again. She was like, I got you.
But that's what coaching is all about. I love it.
Yes.
I love that.
So,
that's awesome. Yay. Well, thank you guys for all being on. Totally appreciate it. And again, we'll answer anything and everything. But, stay tuned to our pages. Follow us. And I think the more you follow us, the more you will get to know us, and the more you will realize, especially if you're new to us and you're a new friend, we're from our hearts. And that's just where we're rooted from. And we are both.
That's the type of people we're looking for.
Yeah.
When we expand our team,
we are definitely looking for people who want to take their tragedies and turn them into their greatest triumphs. We're looking for people who are really afraid to change, but want to do it. We are looking for people who like to help people and like to love and like to share and like to learn and like to grow and value their families and want to give them their own selves the world. And that might sound so Hallmarky and so Christmas Carol on the TV, but we really are. That's what we are. That's the core of Passion Fire Empire and Team Epic Journey. And I think the more you follow us, the more you can get to know us and reach out. You'll see that what you see on tonight is what you get. And, it's just us. So if you feel like you're flowing with us and you feel you want to get a little more curious or just even get to know us more, I know that we can both say that we are welcome and happy to get to know you. So thank you guys so much. Yeah, that's awesome. Great call.
Sunday and 3 weeks till Christmas, 29 days. Let's get ready.
Whew.
I know.
Oh, God.
All right.
All right, guys.
Happy
Good night,
everyone. Thanks for getting on. Good night.
Bye.